Wotcher Nooklings, we are about to dive into something old but at the same time new. This kind of thing already exists, but this one is brand new and I'm really excited for this one, so let's get into it. Okay, here it is. Get this opened up. Whoop. There we go, knocking the tripod already. So this is Draw Stuff Outside, new prompt book by Emma Nisby. I'll probably say that wrong, sorry Emma. Yeah, just her artwork is so cute, I love it. So I'm gonna have a quick flick through, and then I love that. Okay, let's do this properly. Okay, starting from the inside. Right. Oh, I haven't got my wrist thing. And I apologise for my bruise. It's what I've been keeping plaster over it. It's somewhere between a bruise and a blood blister, but you know, it is what it is. So let's do this bit. Fun. It's always a good goal, and I don't know why I did that, but never mind. We shall colour that in a minute, but I just want to read this first. Whether you're in a garden, a park, the city, or anywhere with a view, this book is packed with fun. Imaginative drawing prompts to help you creatively explore the great outdoors. As you complete each drawing challenge, you'll collect a cute creative critter to add to your collection. Can you find all 50? How to use this book. Grab your favourite drawing tools, maybe a pencil, a pen or wax crayons, anything you like to draw with on the go. Be safe. Explore with friends and family, let someone know where you are going, and always stay aware of your surroundings. Sound advice that. Take care of nature. Try to observe rather than disturb any wildlife or plants. Also, sound advice. Have fun. You can draw what you see or invent your own versions. There are no wrong answers here. That's always a bonus. So, there we go, and some socials for Emma. And these are the 50 characters. They are all so cute. I do love all of them. But I do have favourites. See if we can find him. There he is. Flint is one of them. I do actually have my own wolf character called Flint, though he's very different. I will be introducing him at some point. I love Anthony, just so small. And Beans, the bear, who is clumsy just like me. I do like Nugget the dinosaur too. It's really, really cute. Okay, let's take a quick look. Find something that looks like a hidden door and who might live there. Okay, I like these. Okay, I'm gonna have a flip through in a minute, but before we do, I really want to start colouring this page. It's not what I'm supposed to be doing today, but there we go. Is what it is. Let me go grab something to colour with. I was going to grab my hoo-hoos, but as there is artwork on the other side, we're just going to use pencils today. So, and I'm just going to dive straight in. You know, I've seen a lot of people that sort of plan out their colours and everything, colour palettes, and I don't think I've ever really done that. But it's just the way I like to do things. But I'm going to stop yakking and we'll get this sped up for you. The first thing I did notice whilst colouring this is that the pages are a lot thinner than those of Create This Book. Now, Create This Book is the only other prompt book I own, so that's what I'm going to be comparing this to. But at the same time, you can't really compare it because it's very different. I actually got this, like, it came as soon as it came out. I think I was actually one of the first people to have a copy, including Emma. I think mine turned up just before hers. Just one of those. And the other thing I did notice is the ink can smudge a little bit, so you just have to bear that in mind, but not to a point that it actually ruins the artwork. Now the tree's done, I am realising something happened to my phone. Are we still recording? Looks like it, yes. Yeah. Now that the tree's done, I realise we are missing something, so let's get that added. There we go. That's better. Okay, that was a terrible transition, but I tried, and that's the main thing. But yeah, we needed a Nookling on this page. It just had to be done. We'll get more into him a bit later. So yeah, just carrying on with the colouring, and I think I need to sort out a setup on my desk where I mark it out to make sure that I always keep everything in frame, because I seem to be very good at leaving things out of frame without realising it. You know, the sketchbook or whatever I'm working in tries to travel up the desk when I move it around, so I'm thinking I'm going to make some marks on my desk so I make sure everything is always in frame. But carrying on from what I was saying earlier, yeah, the paper is a little bit thinner, but like with Create This Book, you know, you can be creative with it, and it's not going to be an issue at all. You know, this first page, I had a similar issue with the first page in Create This Book, where right in the join between the cover and the page, for some reason the first page is always quite tight on these books. Like I say, it's both Create This Book and this book, so you have to be super careful what you use there, otherwise you do make holes, which I did do in Create This Book. I think I avoided it in this one, but obviously I'll get into that in Create This Book when I do that episode. But yeah, I just really enjoyed colouring this all in. I don't know why I put the text in first. I keep doing that. You know, the who this belongs to, I need to stop doing it first because I always go over it and I always change it. So I really do need to stop doing it first. After colouring the Nookling, which again I'll get to him a bit later, I decided to colour Coco, the Shiba Inu. However, whereas most people will think of red Shibas when the breed is mentioned, I will always think of the black and tan ones, so I had to colour her that way. I just had to, you know, being the dog nerd that I am, had to be done that way. Ginger, the cat, I've kept mostly the same. I just wanted to make them very slightly different than the way they are coloured on the front cover of the book. And then Finn the platypus is basically, he's just a little bit darker than he should be. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this, and especially colouring the little critters in. And yeah, I'm just gonna finish this up and let you guys listen to some music whilst I do that. Okay, before we actually head outside, there is one page I want to do. Find it. And that is to create a friendly travel companion. Now, I do actually have... Sorry, I need to bend that a little bit. I do have some travel companions, which I will flick up on the screen. But yeah, I know what I want to do for this. I'm going to do it on a separate bit of paper because I want to use Ohuhu markers. So give me a sec whilst I swap everything over. Really try to keep the page straight for this one, but I often find that particularly if I'm drawing something at an angle, it helps me to turn the page to be at the same angle. I don't know why, it's just one of those things. I know it's not ideal when you're trying to record what you're doing, but you know, it actually came out the way I wanted it to, which is kind of, you know, half the challenge sometimes. Anywho, so this is the Nookling you saw on the first page. Now, I knew when I got this book I wanted a Nookling. He may not appear on every page, but you know, I wanted him to appear at least a few times in the book, and be sort of more outdoorsy based. And I had considered using one of the ones I'd already created on the colour sheet. However, the more I thought about it, the more I just thought, no, I'd rather have something completely different for this, and that's where this guy came in. Obviously, I'll tell you a bit in a minute when we get to colouring him in as to what he is based around. And for the rest of the page, I wanted to sketch in my actual travel companions. Just, yeah, they needed to be in it because I've had them not for a very long time. Cub is the oldest one. He's the small the brain come back. He is the Mini Beans Build-A-Bear Wolf. I say he's the oldest. He's not the oldest, but he's been coming out with me the longest. That's how I should explain it. And yeah, you can tell he just looks like he's been around a while. He has been washed. I was probably due for another wash. The two keychains are the Demogorgon and Black Panther. Now, these guys I got specifically to hang on my backpack because I'd been wanting a plush keychain or two to go on there. I just hadn't found anything that I didn't mind getting ruined, because I've mentioned before that Splash used to hang out on my backpack, but I had to take her off anytime it rained or anything like that. So I just thought, you know what, I'm going to get a couple that I don't mind if they get wet or anything. The Demogorgon was the first of those, and the Black Panther I got... Initially I was going to keep him just indoors with my other one. I've actually got a second plush keychain of him, but it's a bit bigger and a slightly different style. I think it's a different brand as well. This one on the backpack is a Thai beanie one, and he is incredibly soft. However, I just couldn't help thinking how goofy he looked, so that's why he's on the backpack. And then finally we have the Build-A-Bear Wolf, whose name is Trip, and that is partly where his name comes from, is that I wanted him to be a travel buddy. In particular, he came with me when I went to the States. If you've seen that vlog, a lot of the photos from the States had him in it, and it was just, you know, traveling that kind of distance by yourself when you've never done anything like that before. I knew I needed something, otherwise I was gonna probably freak out. So yeah, that's why he came with me, and I'm really happy that I did that. So on with the colours. So this guy's name is Taito, and he is based on a barn owl. Barn owls are my favourite species of owl. I was actually able to fly one once. So this is like if you go to a raptor centre or something like that. I think on this occasion we went to an event where they were demonstrating flying the birds of prey, and barn owls are so incredibly soft. Like I think between those and chinchillas, if you've ever felt how soft a chinchilla is, it's very close. Yeah, so and I just thought that barn owl would be perfect for him. His name obviously coming from the Latin Taito alba, and even his pose is based on a barn owl. And then for the main background, I knew I just wanted something simple, sort of countryside-esque, because where I am, I'm in Devon, huge county, so it doesn't narrow it down much, but there is a lot of countryside. So yeah, I just wanted to represent that in the background of this image. And in case anyone's wondering, that is actually only a minor cut. It's just the fact of where it was really hard to keep a plaster on it, so I had to use the micropore to try and keep it in place. It's just something I did at work. It's basically a paper cut, though it wasn't paper that caused it, but same thing. Anywho, on to colouring everybody in. With Cub, I'm really annoyed that I did this. Just his lighter colour is like a really pale grey, and I should have had a look at my Winsor Newtons to see if there was a paler grey that I could use, because it just looks terrible. In the end, I also used the colourless blender to try and lighten it a bit. If it had just been white, I would have just left it, and maybe that's what I should have done, but never mind. As for the backpack, it's loosely based on the backpack I currently own. A, I didn't have it up here with me for reference, and B, I didn't want it to be exactly the same anyway. And I think the red just pops that bit more. Which, yeah, I really like how it turned out. This did take me a long time to work on because of the day job, but we'll get more into that in another video. Trip again was a bit tricky because he's got all these other colours in his fur, and initially I was using a second Ohuhu, but it wasn't dark enough to show, so I did grab a Winsor Newton that I knew would show. He has got some lighter coloration in there too, but again, I didn't really have anything that would have helped it show, so I just left that out. And the plane, I based this loosely on a very old cartoon called Jimbo. I think it's Jimbo and the Jet Setters, something like that. Anyway, it's just a very stylistic cartoon. Obviously, I didn't want it exactly the same, but just the really simplified version. Yeah, and I just thought that worked quite well to get it into the image. And we didn't leave at sunrise or sunset on either trip to the States, but I just thought that would separate the image from the actual background. Yeah, just didn't want it all merging into one, because that was already going to happen with the Demogorgon and Black Panther, because obviously they're on the backpack, so it's red on red. But I'm still really happy with how they came out. Now, I didn't actually go outside for any of this book yet. This episode ended up being so long anyway, I didn't want to make it any longer by doing a third prompt, so I decided to just leave it at the 2. But I will be going outside next time. Hopefully it will be a bit cooler so that I can actually do that. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting further into this book. trying to cut this page down to size to fit in the book was tricky, to say the least. As you can see, I had to make some minor adjustments each time. I forget what this thing's called. It's not strictly a guillotine. The guillotines are the ones where you pull down the blade. I don't know, maybe it's a mini guillotine, I cannot remember. Anyway, it did make life a bit easier. However, when I actually stuck this into the book, I still managed to make a bit of a mess of it. It's not fully stuck down yet. I need to sort that out, and there is a bit of a crease in it. And the other thing is I kind of went a bit heavy-handed on the Mod Podge. No idea why, just one of those. But lesson learned for next time. Hopefully it'll go a bit better. We shall see. That's all done. It is time to check Chippy off our list. So we are all done with this one for today, and we did the first page, colouring page. Really happy with how that turned out. Yeah, just really cute. Buildings, not so keen on, but it's just one of those. And then the prompt we did was this one, which was create a friendly travel companion, and yeah, drew my guys, and we did Taito, newest member of the Nookling family. Really happy with how he came out and his pose and everything. So thoughts on this prompt book? If you're into Creators Book or any of those, definitely recommend it. Great addition to your collection. Yeah, highly recommend getting it. Link will be in the description below. Not sponsored, not affiliated, but highly recommend it. Just go check it out, have fun with it, have fun outside, but remember to be safe. So that is going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay uniquely you, and I will catch you Nooklings later.